Hey everybody! Orange Podcast Bad, episode 11. The Pope's died. Everybody saw it coming. He was trying to make it to Easter, I guess, right? so, whatever, they'll do their thing. They'll have what is it, conclave? Whatever. If you're into that, you're gonna have a lot of entertainment. It's gonna be all over your social medias. CNN will be running it 24/7 with a shot right on the smokestack. Um, if you're not into it, then we'll find plenty of other good stuff to talk about. What's going on, Paul?
Well, excuse me. I got to tell you, I was I'm intrigued about all of this. You know the I don't want to say machinations, but what what are the logistics of a pope dying? So I read up on the conclave and the bishops and the archbishops, doing that, and then who who is in the hopper? So uh, some of these bishops are put forth or whatever. And then I was like, okay, so how long does it take to be a bishop? And it's like 35 or 40 years, which I did not realize. You know, uh, I thought once you were a priest and then you kind of went up to archbishop and then bishop, I thought that would be a bishop could be in his 40s or so, but I really don't think that's true. I think and I don't know that much about the Catholic religion, but it seems like a long procession, and that is why different, let's say, than the UK, king and queen, and you know there's there's a chance that you could have a 38 or 45-year-old king, where there's just no possibility of that in the Catholic religion. So once you are a bishop, so you've given 35 years of your life and dedication and schooling and knowledge and teaching and all of that kind of stuff. So you've got to be in your 60s at least. And then once you get to being a bishop, there's a bunch of bishops out there that have all done the same thing you've done. So, the fascinating part to me is, what are the differentiators? You know, and the other part that's fascinating to me is, why is everybody European? Every pope's always been European. There's never been uh, an English, native English speaker as pope, Canada or US or whatever. Um, and I thought, I might be wrong, Sean, but I thought there was it's like, isn't it the second largest religion in the US?
Oh
Or is
yeah, oh
or is it
yeah,
not?
yeah,
It
yeah,
is?
yeah, yeah. And hopefully Edward can join us pretty soon because he's gonna have a lot more information than I do. But I know everything you said so far is dead on, and they're looking at that. So it's very political because
Oh, is it?
massive amounts of money flow through the Catholic organization, the Church.
Oh, well, I didn't know it was political. I thought that was
Very.
one of the last bastions of purity.
Absolutely not. Super political, which is
Oh,
why you have
wow. Man, I'm
conclave.
naive then. I
Which is why you have conclave. They all go behind closed doors in a sealed room and bicker it out, and barter and make deals. And what can like there's a uh, can the American church can we get more funding support, or can we get this, or if we'll give you our vote if you'll give us more funding, or we'll
oh,
give us your vote
so
if
it's like
you'll.
Congress.
very much like Congress.
Yeah.
It's very much like government around the world. And I do know they've got a real popular bishop. I can't remember his name from Ghana, which it would be potentially the first black male pope. Super popular, but the other issue is, like you said, some of the jockeying's gonna be to try and find someone that's at least like maybe 60, because like the top 10 contenders right now are all in their mid to late 70s or even 80,
In their
and
80s already. Yeah.
and so this last guy, he got about 20 years. I was looking it up earlier. The last time we did this was in 2005. So, roughly 20 years ago. That was uh,
Yeah.
who was that? That was John Paul II.
Yeah. And wasn't John Paul the longest reigning
He was the only one that ever stepped down before death.
before he died? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Uh, so they're going to have an issue here because you want at least to
And
have.
and from what I remember, as an outsider, as a heathen,
Hmm.
that Pope John Paul was just, man, he was the man. He did all this good, not only for the Catholic Church, but for the communities and worldwide outreach. And I mean, he was really the guy.
Very well liked. Absolutely.
Was he was well liked?
Even by non-Catholics.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, Francis not so much. You'll see a lot of, oh, look, we're bringing in a guy that might have more knowledge about this than I do, but you'll see a lot of online of people like, I hope we can get somebody much more conservative, politically leaning conservative. Francis was way too liberal. He was all in for, he was condemning America for wanting to have closed borders. He was condemning America for being claiming they were or saying America's anti-trans. What's up, Edward? Hopefully you can grab a mic and get your camera going. Um, and a lot of people didn't like that he was an activist. He was a
He was
political activist
an
as
activist
opposed
pope.
to a pope. Right.
Wow.
What's up, Edward? How you doing?
Well, I can't do it. I don't know what's going on.
We we see ya. We heard ya. Well, we
And you're
can't hear
Hang
you.
muted
on.
now, so you have to
I'm actually
unmute
in the. It must be my. Can you hear me now?
Commodore.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Something's wrong. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I know why. There.
Oh,
That's better.
you gotta plug it in.
I know. It was half plugged in.
Sean,
What are
Hey,
you guys doing?
Sean,
well, the Pope
we're
guy.
really gonna.
It's been 20 years since we've seen this before. We were kind of walking through how the Catholic Church itself is really it's a government. This whole thing's political, and so
Oh
when they go to
yeah.
conclave, right? Who wins? And I said, well, you're jockeying. Well, what can I get for my part of the Catholic Church, like a Catholic Church America? Can I get more funding? Can I build bigger churches? I'll give this guy my vote if you'll promise me I get more funding.
This is and I don't even understand the workings of the Vatican, the Catholic Church. But you know what? I've been so disappointed over the decades of the money they have, and yet they're not feeding anybody. You're supposed to be taking money in and passing it along to the unfortunate, misfortunate, but that doesn't happen. I don't get the whole organization. It just to me, I you know what? Without being the curmudgeon here, uh, that's a new word of the day, by the way, curmudgeon. I just learned that from
All
JC. He
right,
called me a curmudgeon. Now, I can't believe
5
this guy
points.
called me a curmudgeon. He's the
5
curmudgeon, I
points.
said. And he said, well, yeah, I guess we both are. If he throws Mark Twain in the picture as being a curmudgeon, then I guess I'm in good company. But yeah, no, I don't want to appear crusty about the whole thing, but you know what? I just don't have the faith in the abilities of the Catholic Church to do anything of goodness. It's just falling apart. I mean, yeah, they've got the city or the money, very good, very nice. You can have that little piece of heaven on earth for yourselves, and you know everybody else get lost, which is true liberalism. That's what we're going into this election today. Liberals are just like that. That whole mindset, that whole selfish. We got ours now. I don't care what happens to you people. I'm voting this way to get this to protect my own self and assets. I'm voting for liberals. So yeah, it's Catholicism all over again. I'm so disappointed. Now I just got on here and you already got me on in a bad mood. So yeah, let's Paul. I didn't even say how to Paul yet. Paul, what's going on, huh, brother?
So
Right.
I did want to ask Edward if you knew this. It's so when they create the conclave to try to elect or put forward
Vote.
a new pope,
Uh,
are the bishops in the conclave self-serving? Are they jockeying for position, or do they have a friend, or are they like, no, I know Bishop so and so, he would be a good candidate, or is it them trying to get themselves elected?
Well, you know what? There is positioning. You know what? I don't even know enough about the whole thing. I don't even want to know. I really don't want to know the workings of that organization whatsoever. So yeah, what you're saying is true. But I'd rather just not them be around at all. I'm so disgusted in the whole organization as far as not just what they're teaching, preaching, but just their actions, inaction, I should say, alone. Is it's enough said there. I mean, I could go on for another hour about the United Nations, the Catholic, the Vatican, and, what they're doing, and no. I'll just get upset, and you won't like what I have to say. I'll just have to be just flat out, and you're not going to want to hear it. But yes, Paul, you are correct.
Well, they paid for migrant flights. You said they didn't pay for anything. They paid for migrant flights into the United States. The Catholic Church did. Okay, but
Yeah,
but hey, I
yeah,
got I
yeah.
got what
Them
you
and
might
them.
enjoy. I saw a post, and since it was on the internet, I know it's true that Joel Osteen has entered the transfer portal
Yeah.
to be Pope.
Well,
Oh
that's a
yeah,
good one.
yeah.
My
I heard it
goodness.
was TD Jakes. I'm glad you cleared that up.
JD Snakes. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, no
Oh
kidding. Oh
man.
my God, that's incredible.
Hey,
But you know what? The
TDJ, we
same.
love some TD Jakes here in Texas, man. Oh boy, yeah, he is super popular.
Oh, well, yeah, I know he is, and I can think of a few other as well. And I just had the conversation with one of my friends, Mary. Yeah, the other day, talking about I can't remember his name. They were supposed to have gone to the White House for dinner with the president, and I can't remember his name now. But he's another one of these people that, yeah, you know what? I think a bad advisor. Uh, yeah, the wrong guy. Wrong guy to ask any advice from is this guy here. And do you think should I mention some names or not? I mean, should I mention the name Copeland with that?
Go
Uh,
ahead.
you
Do it.
no,
Do
anybody?
it.
Yeah. Well, this Copeland character. Yeah. If there's anybody that does not have the Holy Spirit, does have, we're all familiar with, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'll just leave that at there. And
So I've got an interesting story.
All right. Well, while Edward's frozen, let's go with that.
Christy Nome is at dinner with her family, and a guy wearing a mask takes her purse and walks out of the restaurant among Secret Service, among local police that are outside with the vehicles, and just makes off with passport, her DHS sign-in card, $3,000 in cash, which of course the Democrats first were like, who walks around with $3,000 in cash? And she said, I had 15 family members come into town. I went
Right.
to the bank and I withdrew some money so that I could make sure we could buy dinner and
Yeah.
Easter,
Right.
Easter stuff for the kids and all that kind of stuff. That's why I did. So that's why I had $3,000 in my purse.
Right.
And I don't care if somebody walks around with $3,000, $5,000 in cash. I could care less. I mean, that's if
Well,
they want to do that, go ahead.
I guess.
Yeah, and I've had $10,000 in a backpack walking across, taking a motorcade across Africa because I had to
Yeah.
stop in every village and pay an honorarium so they could let
Oh
me
yeah.
get my stuff on my trucks down to the next checkpoint. That's
Yeah.
whatever, dude. 3,000 ain't
No, no, no.
nothing.
No, I know. I carried more than that by far. Yeah, you're right about that. So yeah, that wouldn't bother me. Who was that? I
Well.
missed the first name.
Oh, Christy
Who?
Domes.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey. Speaking. Hey, can I, for one brief second, what do you think of the more identification we have to have now, which really has been on the back burner for years now? And I don't know why all of a sudden now it's come to the forefront, but how much more identification do we need to carry? And is this something going into more of a, I don't want to bring that subject matter up, but more of a, the digital ID type of thing? And do you know where I'm going with that?
No,
No,
so
it's not.
you're talking about real ID. So I didn't have a choice when I renewed my license. 18 months ago or so. All
Right.
the only extra proof I needed to prove besides my normal stuff, birth certificate, social security, old driver's license with my photo on it, right, was instead of
Right.
one bill with my address on it, I had to bring 2 bills with my address on it. That's the only additional thing that's in that real ID.
Well, what's that going to do, though? I don't understand how that's going to make things more secure. It doesn't make any sense. That's the only
Well,
thing.
first I'm going to tell you it's no big deal. They're not. They look. You've given away more information on Facebook to be tracked than you're giving the driver's license branch here. So
Oh yeah. Order
first,
something on Amazon and they got more on you than you could
yeah,
ever do at a
sign up
Oh
for
yeah, yeah.
sign up for a cell
Good
phone
point.
contract, and the 20-year-old
Yeah.
customer service rep has more information than the state government now has on you.
Well, not only that.
That being
Yeah,
said, this does nothing to keep people safe on a plane. It never has. This came up after 9/11 when we got into a security state in the West.
Yeah.
It's
I
dumb.
was just
It's
going to
just
say,
dumb.
people give out more information about themselves just by answering stupid questions on the internet. What's your favorite food and what's this? But before you know it, in an hour, they've given their entire life to somebody. They can copy everything
And
about them just because of every detail they've given out about even their favorite color. Come on, people, quit doing that. But
answer
so then they're worried about, I don't want to give out my information. You already did that 1,000 times.
answering stupid questions on Facebook. Like people say, "Hey, in 1977, what year were you in high school?" You just
Oh, yeah,
identified
yeah.
exactly your year of birth within a year. Within a
Uh,
year.
yep.
So now I
And
can
this is
dig
what I'm
deeper.
saying.
Hey, does anyone
Yep.
remember living near Cedar Point? Oh, now I know you live near Sandusky, Ohio. Right? And then
Yep.
they just start building profiles because you're dumb enough to answer these things on
This is
social
my
media.
point.
And you
Yeah,
give
and so
away
like
your
I say,
entire identity by doing this.
yeah, so that's why. And then they're worried about, I don't want to give up my information. I laugh at that. They have more on you, more information around the world on the web about you. And like they say, these profiles that everybody's building, I won't mention any races or countries, but I know where they're coming from. And they're worried about, signing up for something stupid. I mean, oh my God, you're going to be kidding me. They're light years ahead of you. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah, they're just taking advantage of you being lazy.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. They're taking advantage of you being lazy.
Well, and any internet sleuth that's even halfway decent, a 13-year-old could do it, and go back and look at your Facebook history for the last 15 years, and probably pinpoint to a T using Google Maps because you're taking video photos in front of your house, which probably has your address on the wall right behind it, and go pin drop. Here's where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you know what? I have to
And then
say,
you get swatted.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. I also got to say too, with these internet sleuths you brought up, there seems to be so many of them, and you know what? It's just human nature. We all love a good whodunit, good murder mystery, just good mystery overall. And when that Wuhan virus hit or came out, with the the old whodunit or where did it come from and all this guessing, they had everybody in the world already hooked with this great mystery to be solved. Everybody's already in at that point. So I'm thinking, oh my god, how ridiculous! Because now you already know the curiosity kills the cat. And once they, get the curiosity, up in people, the game's just already on. I mean, they already had everybody at that point there. So the rest of it, humanity just went all downhill. It was a race to the bottom at that point, and we hit it. I mean, we had to have these supposed vaccinations that if you get the shot, you're never going to get COVID. That's how it started out. And then we needed masks so you don't spread it. But if you already had a shot, you're not going to get it. How are you going to spread it if you didn't get it? So we're getting back to this big circle where it doesn't make, and everybody's buying into this stuff. I mean, and this is where we're at, humanity around the world, dumb, absolutely dumb. So yeah, that's my crustiness coming back out again, gentlemen. But can't help it. It's Monday.
Well, I don't know if Paul saw my response to a post he had on X. I asked you a question. Since Fauci's pardon is only in America, can Putin prosecute Fauci for crimes against humanity?
Absolutely. In any country around the world, that if Fauci's not stupid enough to go into another country because he knows he's going to get nabbed, he'll get black sacked and thrown into a van. You know that just as well as I do, and scurried off to wherever they want. With the swinging light. With questions. 2 + 2 was 5. They really have a game with that guy. I can see it coming now. So yeah, he ain't
Yeah, I
that
would
stupid.
say through the international court system, which nobody pays attention to,
Yep.
except for beta males,
It,
Fauci would be
isn't
toast.
Yeah, isn't that The Hague? The Hague is the actual international, I
Hey,
guess, world court. This is hey,
what a
I know.
joke.
I'm just saying it's just ridiculous, but here we are, and that's why I had to go back around, to the beginning of the conversation, to the Vatican and the Catholic Church. But let's not tie all this stuff together yet, because we got the International Monetary Fund, which is also sponsored by your Catholic Church. But yeah, I'm not doing. No, stop it! Don't, I don't.
Hey, did you see Klaus Schwab resigned effective immediately from the WEF? It's your favorite
Oh.
organization. He quit. He quit.
Hey, how does a guy all of a sudden just now? Maybe that had something to do with the Pope. I don't know. I can't. The timing seems a little suspicious to me. But the guy now, his replacement's going to scare me
Yeah, I think he
because.
had warrants.
Oh, you think is that why? Well, maybe I don't know. Good. I don't think anybody really liked the guy. But yeah. And besides
Oh,
that,
Schwab. What a
I
man.
know. And the guy can't, you'd think for a German, he would have been smart because everybody, just Germany has always produced, well designed, well engineered things, good thinking, good reasoning skills. And then they have this dumb up as a puppet, Oh, I was just like, if I was German, I would be so disappointed this guy's representing our race. It's like, what? It's like a 9-year-old schoolgirl trying to reason out some mathematical problem, not even in the same league. Oh my God, I was so disappointed in that. But yeah, good thing he's gone. Besides that, what have you seen this game before with the Germans representing a world organization to take over the, Doctor Evil? Let's see, First World War, Second World War, yeah, all of it. Again, that got started with the Catholic Church, the First World War. The assassination of I know. Yeah, let's
Oh,
not.
Ferdinand in
Yeah,
Serbia.
that's
Yeah.
that's the guy. Yeah, so yeah, but let's not go because we could have a whole 2 hour. How much time we got, gentlemen?
You got
Let's not
35
do it.
minutes, man.
Let's not do it.
You got 35
Yeah.
minutes, man. Spit facts.
I didn't want to. Yeah. I didn't want to jump on and wreck everybody's day already. I don't even know what we were talking about before I jumped in here. I just
Well,
kind of interrupted and blew
No,
everything up.
no,
Sorry.
no. We opened up with the Pope's dead.
Oh,
So
okay.
obviously,
That's
that's kind of what we were talking about. All the
Wow,
things you're talking about.
It's a good story.
I think we need to
mean, as
move
far
on
as-
to other stuff though. That's a little lighthearted, like
Yeah.
Van Halen
Yeah, right?
going to El Salvador and meeting with the MS-13 gang member,
Oh my God!
What?
and he won't
What
shut
happened?
up about it. And he won't shut up about it.
Who's that? Paul. Who went to the
Senator
Senate?
Van Hollen.
Van Halen, but not Van Halen.
Holland.
Von Holland, Han Vollen or something. Von Holland.
Oh God, yes. I thought he
He's talking
back
about
home. I thought
due process to a guy that came into the country illegally, which means you don't have due
Yeah.
process because you're a
well, no, because you're not American.
Go
He
ahead,
had-
You're
Sean.
not.
He had due process because he had deportation orders sent from the Biden administration, and the
Yeah,
police just never went and got him yet.
yep,
He had due process.
yep.
Well, I guess that's run its full course. And so,
You know, it's
Yeah,
so
listen.
funny to me that all of these people wanted to bypass the court system to come into America, and now all of a sudden they want to have the court system to get out of
yeah.
America before they get exported from America. Yeah, that's not how
No,
it works.
what's even more-
Pedro.
No, I know, right? Yeah. You know what's even more scary, Paul? I heard, now I don't know if this is true, he's been here for 13 years and never bothered to get any type of paperwork, citizenship, nothing, just kind of just stayed as he was, an illegal alien, immigrant, whatever you want to call the guy. And after all that time, he never thought that maybe I should get this rolling or in action as being some type of citizen. But nope, landed immigrant, nope, nothing. Just stays as he is. I don't know why, but
Let me tell you
that's
something.
what I heard.
My wife and I go back and forth to the Balkans.
Yeah.
And I have to say honestly, because it's a 45-minute drive to the big city, Banja Luka, to go to the embassy, sometimes I just don't get around to checking in. You know what I mean? We're there 4 or 5 days and hanging out, and we're planning cookouts and, doing family stuff,
Yeah. Of course.
without
Yeah.
fail.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'll forget something.
Yeah.
Oh,
But hey, isn't that
my
no,
bad.
isn't that supposed isn't that supposed to work in every country that way though? I mean, ours, yours. I mean, it's supposed to be just that way. But obviously, I guess.
I mean, they
I guess-
know they don't. It's and all
Well,
those
now we
Eastern
have
European
ice on the
countries and
sea.
stuff, they don't. And so because of that, I don't mess around. I really
No.
make it a conscious effort. And even if I'm on vacation, we go to Hungary. We love Hungary. Budapest.
Yeah.
And pet
Mhm.
the architecture and it's really Western friendly and stuff. First
Yeah.
thing I do, man, check into the hotel. I go down to the embassy and check in and go, hey, we're doing 4 nights, 5
I mean-
days, and then
Yeah.
show them our
Yep.
passport.
No.
That's it.
That's
So
right,
wait,
yeah. And
when you fly in, is there a big red light that says Yankee warning? Yankee warning?
You know
Oh
what's
my
really
gosh.
great is we fly into Belgrade most of the time. And every time we fly, it's a younger generation. So when we first started doing it, it was guys my age and they were old school communists and they knew I was up to something.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and they just messed with me and messed with me and messed with me before they'd let me go. But now they're all 20 and 30-year-olds, working customs at Belgrade Airport. And you go up and they're like sub, bruh.
Dude, I've told this story before. I've got a couple of friends who are overseas instructors. So when companies like Nike, I'm picking on them, move to China to do manufacturing, but the upper management's all American. And so they bring their families, and the company curates a school right there on the campus.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
because of that, they've been doing that for a couple of decades now. They've toured all over Asia. And their impression from local native Asians in all the different countries they've been to is they walk into a bar and everyone yells, John Wayne! John Wayne! They know
Yeah.
exactly. That's a Yankee. That's John Wayne.
Yeah.
Without even hearing them talk, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. They just the look on them.
I get that all the time, and I always equated it to my size because me and John are about the same size, and
Hmm.
so all these Bosnian guys are like, "Oh, John Wayne," you know.
Well, we've got a reputation, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And it's funny that that they watched all those shows. And you're like, what? You didn't
my
have any?
dude, my reprieve. So when we go over there, it's Tanya and her mom having coffee. That's the national pastime is having, what you and I would call Turkish coffee. It's Bosnian coffee, but
Yes.
it's a little thing, in 3 sips and you're awake for 96 hours,
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so, my work shift is like 4 in the afternoon till 11 to meet up with the American thing. And so, the great thing is I still get up, 6:37 in the morning, and I can always find a channel on Balkan TV that's Bonanza. It's all the
American Westerns.
Mannix, all that kind of stuff. And me and her dad speaks no English. Me and her dad just sit there and watch it. It's got subtitles.
Uh-huh.
And he's always like, and I'm like, no, that was a good shot. No, that was righteous, dude. And he's
That's awesome. All right. Well, so what?
Good.
Does he look at it as like Americans kind of propagandizing, or does he look at it as it's actual just entertainment Hollywood art?
yeah, he just takes it as entertainment. So his main thing is soccer. And
Sure.
you can't, during soccer season over there and basketball season over there, you cannot get him away from the TV. And now that we have a pretty good pipeline in the NBA to the Balkans, Ducic and Ivanovic and all those great players we have, man, they just love it. And so the other thing that's cool is the Serbian National League has become a farm club for the NBA. So you'll see on a televised Serbian basketball game, 4 or 5 black guys, playing because they're not quite NBA, but they're so the Serbs are like a farm club, and you see these young black guys playing over in Bosnia,
Oh yeah.
trying to build up and get back to the NBA and stuff. So it's kind of like a farm club. It's really cool.
Yeah.
All of Europe, in soccer, that is their sport. That's just very European. It's like football for America, or in
Oh
basketball
yeah,
too,
yeah,
or hockey for
absolutely.
like us. So yeah,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for
I
sure, Edward.
still have no interest of going to Europe though. I don't have it. Nice places. I'd love to go to Hungary, Poland, and all these other places too. But
Oh, they're so
I still,
beautiful, Edward. There's just
yeah,
and the people are so
I have,
nice. If you could do a
yeah,
like a Dan, a t- you know the Viking cruise on the Danube,
Hmm.
or one of those things where you hit all of the countries and stuff. Dude, it is so. There's one section in Germany on the Viking cruise where it's like S shaped, and at the peak of each S is a castle up on high. And, they're
Yeah,
like a mile apart, but there's these castles that are, and those
love
guys
that.
either got along or they didn't. But
Yeah,
it's just
no, that's just
really cool to take those
it. Sure
riverboat
is.
cruises are really, really cool.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
bet
that.
it is. My problem is that most, not all, but most of the countries have been invaded by people that don't like Americans. They don't like Westerners.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
so that's why I have very little interest now,
yeah,
unless they can
and you
start
know what? There's
being
so much to
country
see.
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
Right back.
there's so much to see in North America. I mean, between Canada and America, there's so much to see and do. I don't know if I have to go to China, Australia, London, like England, and I don't know. It just, yeah, it's okay, but I still like it around here. There's so much to see and do here. I don't know if I would. And you know what? I just like North America. The people, different. It's different everywhere you go.
I
I love it.
I would definitely do an Israel tour. My mom's done it twice over the last
Definitely.
20
Oh,
years.
really?
Yeah, over the last 20 years or so, she's done two of them. And again, so not only just that to reaffirm Christian faith, but just the history. Like
The
the books
history
of
is so fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Tanya and I, Tanya and I went to Egypt in 1998, and I can't wait to go back. It's just so compelling.
Yeah.
And,
My
and
sister's done all
and
that,
what
and
you might, say whatever you want about the politics and stuff. They love you. They they know tourist is their economy, and they take good care of you, and you're always safe. And it's just
no,
it's
that's good news. Yeah, my sister's gone around that, the Cyprus and the oldest cities, and that walk. I forget how many mile walk that was. She did. It was incredible, like 900 kilometers or something. I
I
can't
want to do
remember.
Canada. When I was 8 or 9 years old, we went to the Canada Stampede, I think it's called. It was a big
Oh, Calgary. Yeah,
Calgary,
Calgary
yeah.
Stampede.
But I was
Yeah.
so young, I don't remember it. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. Everybody, yeah. I got to go back to myself. It's that's why they call it Texas North. It's so close to where you're from, Texas. Everybody's the same pretty much.
oh,
There's nothing
really? Oh, is
different.
it like kind
Yeah.
of like Wyoming or Texas or something?
Yep.
So
It's just
when we did an Alaska cruise, which is the first cruise I ever took in my life, and on the
mhm,
way back, we stopped in British Columbia.
right.
Uh, I I don't know what's the big
Probably
city?
probably Victoria
Victoria.
on the
Yeah,
island. Yeah.
and Edward, that architecture, and I
Hmm.
mean, downtown was so palatial.
Yeah.
It just had
Yeah.
these huge buildings from the 17 or wherever, and
Yeah.
these ornate bridges going, and
Hmm.
then all these sidewalk cafes
Yeah.
where the main thing was, the coffee was okay, you can drink coffee, but we really want you to people watch. You know what I mean? They had all those chairs and
Yeah.
umbrellas
I know.
out where
It's
you could just
true. Yeah.
watch
It's
people on the esplanade walking up and down and stuff. Man, it was
love that.
so cool.
My favorite hotel is there, the Empress, in downtown Victoria. Ricky, that's not, yeah, I think it's right beside the Parliament buildings. Yeah, it's the same guy who designed the Royal York, and I can't remember if it was the Banff National Springs Hotel. I think it was, but it could have been the other one, Chateau Lake Louise. I can't remember, but the same guy designed them all. So yeah, it's just you're right about the architecture and stuff. It's absolutely a wonderful place to go. Loved it, but
The
yeah, it's
people
changed a
are
lot
real
now.
nice. Man, and so my two sisters about 5 years ago, I don't know what hotel they stayed at, but they did Christmas in Victoria,
Oh wow. Yes, we
and
always warm
they
there.
both
You know.
said it was just off the chain. It was just
Yeah. Yeah, I love that
fantastic,
too.
like the German market, Christmas market, and they
Yeah.
have in Germany. It was the same kind of thing, and
I had to be years ago because it changed so much in the last, I'm going to say 10 to 15
yeah, I
years,
think it was
maybe
10
20
years ago
years.
when they went. Yep.
Yeah. And now even Vancouver, a girl told me she just came back from Vancouver. I thinking, yeah, I think I know what you mean because so many Asians have gone over the years and bought up so much real estate
Oh, no kidding.
that yeah, so it's changed a lot. Not that that's a bad thing, really. I mean, if that's the money that is coming in, then I guess that's what.
Oh,
Uh,
well, yeah. So that's the
yeah,
Texas coast. The whole Texas coast is Vietnamese shrimpers.
is it
Oh,
really?
yeah. Yeah. You get a
Huh.
Mexican guy every now and then, or a white guy now and then, but everything else is Vietnamese, man. They got all the fishing boats
Did not
and
know that.
and all the ass kicking restaurants, man. Because mama's at home cooking while dad and the boys are out there shrimping.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
So
And you know what? They,
are they the ones that supply the to the commercialized Bubba Gump restaurants?
Yep.
bubblegum.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
I didn't even
Oh,
know it
dude,
was a thing.
Yeah. So there.
Edward,
So
I went to Bubba Gump in Biloxi, Mississippi. It was an experience. It is cool.
Really?
It was
yeah.
ripped straight out of the story of the movie. It's
So
awesome.
Bubba Gump has a flotilla of about 17 boats that do
Wow.
nothing but Bubba Gump. That's all they
Wow.
do.
Wow.
Wow.
You know
Yeah.
what? I, 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 I probably would love the chain or the restaurant or whatever, but because that movie wrecked it, because I never, that was a movie that got a lot of hype. I just couldn't stand, life is like a box of chalk and all those other stupid sayings. Oh my God, how ridiculous. I can't remember the name of it now, but, I just
Forrest
couldn't stand
Gump.
it. That's the
Run,
one. I couldn't
Forrest,
stand that
run.
movie. The most
Oh my
dumbest freaking
God.
movie we ever seen in the
Edward is
world.
my wife.
Why?
Exactly.
Why? Why would you say that?
Oh, man, every time the
I'm
movie comes
watching this.
on, I
I'm
watch it.
watching this big, uh, thriller, and there's a big shootout with Jason Statham, and she's like, "Oh bullshit, bullshit," and I'm like, "It's a movie.
It's a
Zip
Yeah.
story.
it.
It's
It's
a
You know
just a
story.
what?
movie."
There are certain movies that there's another one that kind of, ticked me off is that one where the guy realizes he's dead after 3 years. I see dead people. I can't remember the name of the movie. No, the
Oh! Yeah,
Sixth Sense.
Bruce Willis? Sixth Sense. Bruce
Yeah,
Willis.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now
the
here's
Sixth Sense,
another.
Mila Jovovich. Yep.
Here's
Dude,
another movie
you know how
that
many good banger memes I've made off that movie for the internet?
No, I haven't. But
Well, like when Doge came out and all the Democrats are screaming about Doge, and I get a picture of the little kid from the movie, and I get him saying, "I see Doge people."
oh, good one. That's
I think I
great.
got like,
But you
I
know
must have
what?
got like 100,000 likes
I
on that
did.
meme. It was
It
insane.
was a good. Don't get me wrong. The movie had a good premise to it. It was just poorly written. Like because there's no way you could live 3 years without sleeping, eating, or anything normal and not realize, hey, I haven't eaten in like 3 days or 4 weeks or 3 years. Come on, like or even slept. The guy doesn't. I'm thinking, now how long would it dawn on you walking around that you haven't slept and what are you doing at nighttime? We're just walking like nothing made. There is just so much nonsensical stuff that you have to dawn on you how stupid the whole thing was because you could see there was something wrong, and at the end of it, that well, doesn't even add up. I mean, they had us going with this. They had to lie a lot to make the ending worthwhile, but. When it ended, I thought, well, that was actually stupid. But anyways, that's just my. The reasoning wasn't there, and that's where Hollywood writing has got today. It's just not well thought out like North by Northwest or some other older movie that you could actually, I could actually
Oh my
see that and
God.
believe it. What?
North by
What?
Northwest. I love that movie, dude.
Hey, real
I'm
quick,
just
I want
giving
to
you an
get
example of
a
one of
shout
the many,
out.
but
I want to give a shout out to
Okay.
look. So we've got a bunch of friends over on X. I'm looking at the feed over there.
Oh, nice.
So I
Uh-huh.
want to say hi to everybody on X. We thank you so much. Drop a
Thanks.
comment. I've got the comment section up, and drop us a comment. Tell us we look retarded, or tell us we sound retarded, or tell us how much you love us. Whatever. Drop us a comment. Just wanted to say hi and thank you.
And hi.
Dude,
I got to
that's
say hi
awesome.
too. Maybe there's a friendly from our old space there. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you who it is. All I've got is a
Uh-huh.
live view, like who's watch or that there's so many people watching live. So, and
Uh-huh.
we've
So
got
one
people
thing I
on.
Hey,
wanted to ask you, Sean, the last show or the show before, Kess came in and was able to comment.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how does that work?
So
I haven't seen Cass.
the chat rooms are open on all platforms where we're live. So we're live on Rumble,
Okay.
Locals, YouTube, Stitch, and X. And all except for X. X is a separate chat room. You just drop a chat in there and we'll see it. So I've got the X open on my phone for the chat room, and then all the rest of them, you'll actually see them here on the screen, Paul. Remember how I was able to throw some up onto the Jumbotron
Yeah.
when Kess was watching?
Geez, I haven't seen Cass in months.
I
That's
talked to him a couple
amazing. Yeah.
days ago. He's doing pretty good. Still taking care of
Oh,
family and taking care of
right.
grandbabies, and yeah, he's doing
Uh-huh.
well.
Right, right. Good news. Yeah, good to hear.
Just
Yeah.
busy.
Now,
He'd gone through a move. Stuff we should talk about
oh,
offline.
I know.
It's his
Yeah,
life.
yeah. I still want to get back into the movie that we were just mentioned. There's so many of the older ones, classics, I thought, that were well done. Good written movies that
Movies
you could follow.
were awesome.
Today,
The
for lack of
Oxbow
reason,
incident.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. No.
Oh,
No, not that I
Edward,
know of. But
seek
even
it
some of
out,
the old
dude.
westerns were still good, well written. Even just the old, westerns. I mean, the spaghetti ones were kind of a little trashy, but they still had appeal, much more than what we have today. It's more flash and trash. That
Unforgiven.
The
don't
Unforgiven was
just
fantastic.
Clint Eastwood. Yes, there's
Yes.
so many of
Clint
those that.
Eastwood called Morgan Freeman and said, "I want you to do this with me."
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "Dude, no, I think I'm too old for that. I don't want to do that." And Clint was
Really?
like, "Really? I'm 6 years
How
older than
old's
you
Clint?
are."
Yeah.
Older.
And he's still doing the thing, Sean.
Yeah.
He's still doing the thing after
Yep.
all that time. And Morgan Freeman
Grand
just didn't maybe.
Paul.
Yeah.
Gran
Grand?
Turismo. The get off my porch guy. Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Gran Torino.
Loved it.
Fantastic. Unbelievable.
Gran
Fantastic.
Torino. Gran
Get out of
Torino.
my yard. And
Turismo's
his
a
son,
dog.
the way he dissed his son when he stood up to those guys, and he's like, "What are you doing over there, oh Faye? These guys don't respect you. They're not your friends. Get the hell out of here."
Yeah. But it was so, no, it was a real, I love that. It was well done. Another movie that, I thought was well done. It had, from the beginning to the end, you could follow it. There was no lying to anybody or trying to falsify some things to get you down their road, no matter how much it didn't make sense, which is like most movies today. No, the whole thing just flowed. I liked it very much. And even the song, at the through it was well done too. Yeah,
My
great movie.
all-time favorite, Tombstone.
Oh wow,
I really
That's,
like Tombstone. If we're gonna do stuff from other countries, I really still like Braveheart and the story of William Wallace.
Oh my God, what a great movie that was.
yeah.
So
And being
what happened? So what happened to that genre? What happened to
They got woke.
Braveheart and
Gladiator.
Patriot, Gladiator? These epic, wasn't CGI. There was really 11,000 people in the woods in Germany, and it was cold as hell in Gladiator.
Yeah.
I mean, those stories
Yeah.
are epic about how miserable everybody was because of all the mud
Well,
and stuff, and all that kind
it
of
was
thing.
The
still
studios,
reality
the
though.
studios refused to make that content anymore. They wanted to make
Yeah.
we'll just call it woke content, but through the
Well,
ages,
it's
it's
all
been called something different. It's been called affirmative action, and then it was something else,
yeah.
and now it's DEI, and so that's where you see in like Mel Gibson and some other of his friends breaking off. They're setting up a studio in Las Vegas. There
In
was another
Vegas, yeah.
studio that opened up in Atlanta. They're
Speaking of
doing
Mel
stuff.
Gibson, how about Dragged Across Concrete?
Oh,
Oh my
What?
God, that was an ep. Oh,
Never
yes.
heard of it.
Put
No,
it on your watch list.
I'll have to, I guess. I don't even know what a favorite movie of mine would even
Untouchables.
be. I don't.
Untouchables.
I've heard of it, but I can't remember it. Uh, yeah, I can't tell you right now of any well-written movie besides the ones we just mentioned, but you'd have to go back to probably, the black and white days, or maybe a little bit more, I guess, current than that. But yeah, I can't think of any right now. But
What was
I
the
did have a couple.
what was the
Huh?
speed between World War II, where he rode a motorcycle and threw the baseball against the wall? What was that?
Oh, I can't remember the name of it. That was good.
Dude, that was an
No.
awesome movie. The Dirty Dozen
Dirty
Oh,
Dozen.
Telly
yeah,
Savalas.
Oh,
We're not
yeah. There's
shaving
another
in
one.
cold water.
Yeah.
George Clooney and Matt Damon and We Three Kings, which was in the
Oh my God!
set in the
Yeah.
Middle East, and they steal all
And
this gold
and
from some.
and Ice Cube's there, and he's like, "Hey, we ain't talking about no Dune Coons. We ain't having no. We ain't doing none of that, boys."
And they're stealing Saddam's gold.
Yeah.
They're paying people off in
Yeah.
gold bars all the way across.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna watch that again. I hadn't seen that
Yeah.
in a while.
We
Yeah.
Three Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
I
kings,
see.
how about the King of New York with Walken?
That was
Christopher
good.
Walken.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was good.
Hey, I got what I was just thinking about. It's kind of a crazy, stupid movie, but it's kind of current to where we find ourselves today, and that is, and I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but Invasion of the Body Snatchers back in the early
oh, the
Oh,
'70s,
sure.
original?
where
Yeah.
what's
George
that?
Romero. Yeah, George Romero, Body Snatcher.
I don't know. I just remember it was Keith or no, it was it no his father. It wasn't Keith or Sutherland. It was his Donald Sutherland was in
Oh,
it, and when he was
Donald
just
Sutherland.
first starting. Yeah, and that
Yeah,
was a
George
good movie
Romero
because
was
it's
the director. Great
oh
movie.
yeah, it just just where we find ourselves today is almost just the sleepwalking people into what you can give me for nothing attitude and just be this society walking around half asleep, and then somebody's real and then it's just where we are now. I just thought that was
Yep.
a great comparison to
Oh, what
but
about
yeah,
The Town?
Which I
The
couldn't hear you.
Town.
What about The
I don't
Town?
The Town.
never heard of that.
Oh, the
Nope.
bank robber movie with uh, Jason Bourne's best friend.
Oh,
That's Matt Damon, is it?
yeah, man.
Yeah, Matt Damon's best friend.
Don't know.
They grew
I
up
don't really
together
know.
in Boston. They did
Huh.
the movie, their first movie together, won an Oscar.
Yeah, I can picture the guy. He's
He
the one
played
that.
Batman. He's the accountant. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Why can't I? Oh, God, getting old sucks. I can't recall his name. Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck. Yeah.
Ben Affleck in The Town. That was Jeremy Renner. That was a serious bank robber movie. The best bank robber movie ever, though, is The Heat.
Mm-hmm.
With Val
The Heat.
Kilmer and De Niro and Pacino and
Never seen that. But I was thinking Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in that movie. Where they're at school. Gosh, I can't remember
Well,
the name.
yeah, go back into the '90s. This wasn't. It was. It was along that kind of line, not necessarily bank robber, but remember Ronin? The movie
Yeah,
Ronin.
De Niro and
next to Tombstone, Ronin's my favorite movie.
It's incredible.
What color's the boathouse? Oh my God, dude, I love that movie.
I had that on VHS and I wore it out. I literally wore it out and snapped the cassette because or the
Did
tape
you really?
because yeah,
Yeah,
because
you
we
can't watch
like
it
we'd be
enough.
sitting there,
And
dude,
every time you watch it, you see something different.
we'd be sitting. I was renting a house in college. I'm gonna give too much information away, so I'll just say I was renting a house in college. I was about to tell them where it was. Um, and like people always were coming and going. I had a couple of roommates, but like just like we had a lot of friends, and they'd just show up and come in, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
And that was
college,
just
right?
like we didn't have cable because we couldn't afford. We were just poor as poor could possibly be, right? We're using an electric dryer to heat the house in the winter because we couldn't afford the gas bill. So we had some VHSs, and that was it, right? So somebody'd pop in a VHS, and you'd walk into the room with the TV, and oh, Ronan's on again. I'm gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And the Frenchman,
Uh huh.
uh, I forget his name, but um, he also did that movie with where he was an assassin, and the cute little girl was 14 at the time. She was in Black Swan. Um, I forget her
Nope.
name, but she was just a baby at the time. But it's the one where he was the really good killer, and that other guy was the guy that did that thing. It was really great.
Uh, a couple of I know. Our brain cells are like.
Yeah.
I wanted to give some honorable mentions to Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List.
Yes.
Yes, Schindler's List. Yeah, I think Save a Private Ryan. Yeah, yeah. All right.
Dude, that
Yeah.
opening 20 minutes in theater,
hmm
unbelievably intense. So hard to watch.
I could hardly watch it, dude. It was, and that was the
Well,
first time they had like real live zinging and zang, and ricochets and that kind of stuff, like over the top.
Oh yeah.
gentlemen, I got to say, growing up through our school systems, every uh, Remembrance Day, because for some reason we filmed all that stuff live and we got to see all the live action shots. So it was no real big surprise to me to see the first 20 minutes because I've seen so much of that all my school years and a lot more than just that action they showed on that movie. It's like I'm thinking,
Interesting.
well, this is no big deal. We watched all this our whole lives. Why is this everything all of a sudden such a big attraction?
I
But
wouldn't have been here in World War II, but I don't recall anybody saying that that was a thing that was on the television at night. I mean, there was updates, but you get the updates in a movie theater in a trailer beforehand, a 60-second update.
I don't know what that means from what we were watching for clips going to school at Remembrance Day. But well, I've seen all those, is what I'm saying. So I don't know what does that mean? What you just said?
A
You get
trailer is
updates.
something like when we actually used to go to the movies, a trailer would play before the movie, and the government would play
Right.
trailers to give updates on the progress of World War II on the next Friday night movie. And there'd be a 60, 90-second, maybe
Yeah,
a
news from the
20-second
front.
news from the front. It
Yeah.
wasn't displayed on TV in the way you're saying you saw clips in school. I don't
Yeah.
know, Paul.
We had
Paul, did
films
they
that
play
were
clips like that in your school? Because I didn't see clips like that when I went
no,
to
you didn't.
school.
No, because this was Canadian film, had nothing to do with the Americans. We filmed this live, and everybody's saying, from the people I've seen doing, I
Wow.
guess, certain clips of the Canadian military. Where did we get all this film and stuff? Because we filmed it as we were doing it. America never did that. Now, I guess we were the first ones, I suppose. I don't know. But like I said, we always watched that growing up. Remembrance Day through school, all these films we all got in the classrooms. We always watched them. Yeah. Anyways,
So I
that's what I
gotta
said.
say, as a boomer, we never ever watched a movie during class. The only movies we watched were in driver's ed, and they were the Ohio State Police Mechanized Death, and they made sure that we had uh, unbelievable nightmares for the rest of our lives because they showed live auto accidents with people hanging out of windows and stuff, put on by the Hyatt Ohio State Patrol. But that was the only movies we saw. We never watched. There was never a entertainment day or we're going to do pizza and a movie this Friday because your math teacher's too lazy to put on a class.
No, true.
It
And
was it
besides
was
that, those
it was
movies those things we did see growing up, like you just mentioned, you know, no one really cared or followed that much. But it's like, well, that's just a bunch of bad luck those people had. That could never happen to me. That's just bad luck for them. So it doesn't really wash. It doesn't really relate to people when you're watching that stuff. That don't do this. Okay, yeah, but we won't. But that was just them and their bad luck. That's why that ended up or happened that way to them. That's just the way kids think, right? So it doesn't really
uh,
do much even showing that.
well, it's just interesting that because your culture and our culture, we just assume are so similar. But even Gen X, right? I'm Gen X. It was rare to do a movie day. I will tell you, Paul, one thing, and I don't remember what grade level, but they did mandatory for Gen X was they played the entire season of Roots, and that was
Oh, really?
that was the very start of the introduction, right to because they didn't talk about pre 1864 America in the younger grades in third, fourth,
Really?
fifth. No, no, we were working on learning the cursive. We were learning on working our
Yeah,
ABCs,
yeah.
one, two,
I got you.
threes. And so you get to like fifth grade, and they're like, hey, we're gonna expand your minds. We're gonna show you racism. You're gonna watch Roots. You're gonna watch all 5 hours of it over the 5 days during this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Propaganda, more programming, because why don't they just say, hey, what was it, Huxley that wrote that? I can't remember who did that now, but why do they do like the Irish slaves and how come just them though? They just concentrate solely on them. The only ones that have been in slavery, and they never showed anybody else. Like the Irish were brutal back before the black, slaves even got big. There was that going on. And let's not forget the other cultures either. It's been going on all over the world since the beginning of time. And all of a sudden, Roots is supposed to be, the hardest. No, not buying it. But that's just the way Hollywood and society wants to cram us down that road. We're all thinking the same thing when it's not even reality. But it's one of them, yeah, but not all of them. So yeah, I'm against the school system and the ridiculous stuff they even teach because, as you all know now, it was all wrong. I mean, even some of the math was wrong, but we didn't know at the time. We didn't. We
Well,
just didn't know.
I do have to say, there are a lot of young, new generation movie makers that I really like. I mean,
Like what
so
generation? When you say
recently, like
new,
No Country for Old Men, the Coen
oh
brothers,
yeah,
That was a good
I did
one.
see it. Yeah,
that is just, man, it's compelling. And there's a lot of those um, directors and stuff out there that are putting out that quality content and stuff.
yeah.
Well, and I think
That was
some of
kind of
that's
a
coming out of the new studios, like out of Atlanta and possibly out of Las Vegas.
Right? Yeah,
studios.
Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Austin. Those are
Yeah,
and Nashville. They're saying those are the new Hollywoods.
Indianapolis just approved one.
Yeah, and
You
then
mean the big
Angel
studios like
Studios. They make all those ones with no titties and no cursing and all that, but they're still compelling.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and that's like the big studio that the Blair Witch Project used.
Oh,
Them.
There was yeah, there was no studio. It was just done by like probably a cell phone. The whole movie.
Well, there was a studio. That's what's funny about it because
The Blair Witch Project.
about 6 months
Oh,
afterwards they came out and we're on like Letterman, I think it was, or Leno, the actors of it. And they're like, yeah. We had to keep silent, but yeah. We this was funded by Hollywood, and we had a great time shooting it. We had a great time with the fact that you all believed this was home video footage of us just walking around in the
And
woods.
that was breaking. That was a new genre back then. They were,
Yes.
there's been a bunch of movies after that that are like that, but Blair Witch was one of the first ones. And I
Oh,
gotta
it's
say, every
fantastic.
time I watch it, it's compelling. It really is.
Oh,
I
I know.
haven't watched it once, but I just heard that. That's why I mentioned it, because if you can
Listen,
do
it was
that,
good. Like
you
we
know,
went to this is back when theaters were a thing. I Yes, there's still some people to go to theaters, but not like it was 30, 40 years ago, right? And like it was a Friday night. You get your $2 out, right? Your friend gets your $2 out. You get $2 extra for your girlfriend, and everybody piles in the car and goes to the movie, right? And Blair Witch was at that time, we were. It was definitely opening weekend. It might not have been opening night. Like that was the talk in high
Oh
school
yeah, yeah,
on Monday. The whole day,
yeah,
Monday was people like, "Oh my God, did you see what happened to those poor kids in the Blair Witch Project?"
yeah,
And everyone fell for it.
yeah.
In mass
yeah.
formation
Yeah, it
psychosis.
was unbelievable the success of that. So, but
Yes.
I do have to say, we in Tyler, about 45 minutes away, there's one of those dinner movie
Oh yeah.
theaters.
Yeah.
I,
Like
you know,
a
I forget the
drive-in, you
name
mean?
brand, but they
No, you
serve.
can. So the new theaters in America, Edward, all have recliners and full menus. So you order dinner and get it and beer service or
And it's
cocktail
good.
service,
The food's
Wow, like
good.
and they cook it and they
Yeah,
in
it's
bring it
a
not
to you.
movie.
airplane food. It's
And your
it's
giant recliner with a tray
you're in a
table.
giant recliner. You lean back. They bring you a 72-ounce beer and chicken fingers and hamburgers and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So what Tanya and I like to do is for the big blockbusters. So for example, the final Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2, it's
Yep.
coming out May 22nd. We're already buying our tickets. We're going to go to the theater, eat dinner, and because we feel like we need to have that on a 670-inch screen and not
Yeah.
on our TV at home.
I,
With it
I would
so
love,
loud
I
that
would
you won't
love
be able to
that
talk
movie.
to each other after you get out of there because you'll be deaf.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I was just thinking while we were talking. I know we don't have much time, but I have to say my favorite movies were those ones that you just mentioned earlier on, uh, Paul, and it was Matt Damon was in it, and I can't remember the titles of them because they were all the same titles, and it had to do with Jason Bourne, the Bourne, the
Oh,
Oh,
Bourne.
Identity, the Born Supremacy, the Born
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Idiocracy.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were a good movie. My all time favorite, the one that I think was well written and well done, acted, was The Three Musketeers by Walt Disney. I mentioned that to you, oh God, a couple months ago, and I have to say that's going to be my all time favorite. It's just well done. By the way, it's not too far out of where these countries are going today in the fighting going on for freedom versus the slippery road into communism. And I could say something where that movie is more in line to where we're
Sure.
at, but I won't
The,
because
the one
we don't have
similar
another
one that
hour.
I like, the one similar one I like is Princess Bride.
That's
I
what you
just
want.
love, I don't think
My
that
name
word
is Louis
means what
Montoya.
you think it means.
I love that movie. It's great. Oh my God. Will you quit saying that?
Oh,
Precisely.
don't tell me you've been forced to watch The Notebook too.
Oh my
I
God,
did
I've
see The
never seen The
Notebook, I
Notebook,
think.
but I've
Oh,
heard it's
you're
bad.
so lucky. You're so
Yeah.
lucky. Oh, it's miserable.
No, luckily Tanya's not that person either. She doesn't
Oh,
get.
Yeah.
She's like,
look,
I mean,
I'm just telling
that
you.
is definitely
I'm
a,
telling
a
you the
chick movie for sure.
time that I sat down to watch it, the chick was a 10. So I was putting one in for the team.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that then, because it was just the stupidest movie. I mean, as far as wanting to get everything out of a guy and nothing out of return, that's the thinking today. Where I'm going to give it all and everything to her and get nothing back. I mean, that's just where women are at today. I deserve all this stuff to be worshipped and everything, but I don't have to give anything back. I don't really have anything to give back. Clearly, money or personality or soul or character. So we can all see that, but we're supposed to just, and that's where we are in society today. So, yeah, dumb movie. Of course, I can see them liking it. And, oh, you got to like, I can see why.
Well, fellas, hey, listen, we ran a little long. We got a lot. Should we open up tomorrow with what our favorite audio cassettes were? Because I mean, we seem to be nostalgic all of a sudden. I want to thank everybody. We got plenty of viewers on all the apps. Definitely over on X. This is the first time I've actually seen people watch it on X and not over here on Rumble. Thank you so much to everybody listening on X and giving us likes and giving us follows.
Love you guys.
I'll
Yeah,
let you
ditto.
guys
Me too.
say bye. So audio cassettes didn't take. I mean,
No.
we'll just all right. I was just looking at the pre-woke era, and there were so many audio cassettes like AC/DC High Voltage that I just wore out. Good stuff, absolutely
yeah.
good stuff. All
I
right,
just had my I got my Veterans Memorial stuff on Tuesday night. I just can't participate.
yeah, sure. Well, we'll probably talk about an election happening in some company or country, right, Edward?
Oh God, yeah. You want to? Yeah, you're gonna get me upset again, and I could rant about that for another hour straight at least. But you'll get tired of it because there's so much going on with this ridiculous libtard thinking or non-thinking. Yeah, let's better not even go there. But yeah, that's true. 7 days from now, we're pulling the hammer on that one. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Hey Edward, if Friday's payday, go get a laptop, dude.
Yeah, did you hear that screaming away? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I got to do that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll have to get that addressed somehow, some way. I've already been looking at that as well, so we'll see. But, gentlemen, on that note, yes, I will bounce now. I will get out of your hair. Except for you, Paul, your hair's not looking too good today, but as if I should talk. But yeah.
All right, fellas.
Okay, gents, I'm out.
Here we go.
Yes.
See ya.
Good night. Yeah.